Welcome to Intervision FM. I'm only going to be in for a few minutes here, but I had some questions about Jacobs LeBron's Kelly. Is that a name again? Jacobs LeBron's Kelly. He was the, let's see, what would we call him? He was the antagonist that was going around calling people names, acting like a fool, like a high school boy. And as you guys know, before we get into this, let me let you know, if this is the first time you're watching Intervision TV, my name is Johnny J. I'm the owner of Intervision FM. We do radio that showcases grassroots and disabled musical artists. Our station is 24 hours, 7 days a week. Also, we do a television show on Denver Comcast 56 every Wednesday night, tonight at 8 p.m. Depending on when you're going to see this, Wednesday nights at 8 p.m. And I have a book out called 6 Shades of Blindness. Do get a pre-order of that. It's only on Amazon. And do a pre-order. Give us your ratings, hopefully a 5-star rating, so we can get this book into the top-selling books. And it just talks about my progression, how doctors tried to kill me with their medicine, and how I lost my vision, and then how I just maneuvered through life as a legally blind person. Then became a TV producer, and then wrote a screenplay, and it's just some funny stories along the way. So do go to Amazon.com, get your order of 6 Shades of Blindness on Amazon.com. And anyway, so let's continue. Let's talk about Jacob LeBron's Kelly, the kid or young man who was wearing the Black Guns Matter, who was the antagonist at the Patriot Mustard rally on the 10th. So this is probably episode 3, because I listen to the Peter Boyles on 710 KNUS in the morning, and then I go over to Stefan Tubbs at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And then sometimes I listen to KLZ as well, and that's Kim Munns. And then Chuck and Julie show from 3 to 4 there on the internet there. And I look at their bent, and then I say, okay, how can I twist it to a bent that's something that's more conducive to what I understand and how the world runs in my world, right? And I have met Jacob LeBron Kelly. I've met this guy many times before in my life. So I'll just talk about the most recent times. I was coming home from work on 7th and Santa Fe, standing at the bus stop, and this young, half black, half Spanish, I don't know, guy came up to me, and he started saying, "Hey, N-word, hey, N-word, I'm a MFer, I'm this, I'm that. I went to the war, and yeah, I voted for that MFer Donald Trump, and what's up, N-word," and I just stand there and just listen. I'm just listening to him and saying, "Am I in high school? I mean, this guy has to be either in his 20s or his 30s. He's talking to me, elder, like we're friends, like we know each other, and we don't." And so he was talking all this stuff, before we got on the bus. When we got on the bus, he calmed down and started talking to another ex-veteran or a young veteran. And maybe he was a veteran, or maybe he wasn't. Maybe they sent him over there to protect our oil interests, and maybe not. But I'm just listening to, and to some people, that would be intimidating. Some guy come up to you, calling you all kinds of names, and then you might want to say, "Well, let me run away." But my philosophy is like, you stand your ground, and you don't knock them out. I mean, your first instinct is like, when I was younger, I thought about that, just knock him out. When I was, I guess in my late 30s, I went to school, and I used to know this guy. I think he was Hispanic, he had long hair and stuff like that, and he was missing half of his arm. And he had this habit of, he would come up to people and he would just start calling them MFers, and he's just joking, right? But, when I saw him in classrooms, we know he was joking then, but I'm in King Supers, and this guy comes up out of the blue and he says, "Oh, MFer," and I'm thinking like, I was about to hit the guy, and then I recognized his voice and said, wait a minute, this is the guy from college. He's always calling people this, he's always doing that. And I stopped myself from punching this guy out because I was listening to exactly where his mouth was, because I was going to knock out some of his teeth. But fortunately, I caught myself and recognized that who it was. I had a gentleman in my class when I was in high school. His name was Julius, and he was like 5 feet tall, little short guy, and he had a baby face, and he would always go around calling people MFers, and he would always talk crazy to you like that. But nobody ever hit him or anything, because they said, well, little Julius, because he's just a little guy. And later on, when I saw Julius, when we graduated, he grew a long beard, put on a hat, and he would always want to invite me to go see these porn movies where there was like these guys sitting in a dark room with no life, doing whatever with themselves, and that was his lifestyle. And he was still living at home with mom. He never progressed to get a job and support himself. Well, hopefully he did eventually. But I was already, when I saw him at that time, I had my first apartment, and I was paying bills, phone bills, doing all that kind of stuff. And he was still saying, he was saying, man, wait until I tell my mom I saw Johnny again. And I'm thinking like, wait until you tell your mom, are you still staying with mom? I'm not going to go over to my mom's house and say, hey, I just saw Julius again. And guess what? Julius is he no longer has a baby face. He grew a full beard and mustache, and I think he stopped calling people MFers. He didn't approach you that way anymore. So I met people like that. And then just recently, we were walking in the park, and the guy started talking about Jesus, and he wanted, and all that kind of stuff, and he was talking crazy again. And once again, my philosophy is, do not run away from these people. Just stand your ground, turn around and stand your ground, and if need be, tell them the game is over now. Right? And you don't have to get mad, because I've learned a long time ago, sticks and stones will break your bones, but names will never harm you. And that's true for a lot of people, and some people that's not so much true. I have a niece that has psychological problems, and if you call, so say some names to her, it will psychologically upset her. I remember my one of my oldest brothers, we were at a family get-together, and somebody had told her that Jesus was a black man and that he wore dreadlocks. And so, what the hell, if she wants to believe that Jesus was a black man and he wore dreadlocks, it's no skin off my back. But my brother wanted to say, hey, he's a Jewish guy, and he might have been like a little, had a little suntan because it was in the desert, but he wasn't a black man. And I know in Revelation it says a man of bronze with bronze feet and hair like wool, and so black people look at that and they say, well, Jesus had, but he was a Jewish guy. He probably had a suntan, and maybe his hair was a little wavy, maybe, but nobody will know because we don't have any pictures of him. So who cares? And should that be the stopper, or the one that says, okay, I'll go ahead with the story? All right. So anyway, my brother said, he tried to clarify, said, whoever told you that Jesus was a black man, and he tried to clarify it. And she got really upset. And my mother had to say, my mother said, go over there and apologize to, my niece, and he realized that she has mental issues, and so he went and said, he's sorry. But I think it was a normal person in the street, spewing such stupidness, he wouldn't apologize for saying no. Jesus probably didn't have any dreadlocks, because that's dreadlocks is the day's like hairstyle, and he, and it would be no problem for him to set like a normal-minded person straight on what Jesus looked like, and Jesus didn't look like, and who cares? Okay, but some people do care. We have paintings of white Jesus, we have paintings of black Jesus and brown Jesus, and every culture, the radical painters, they say, well, let me paint Jesus in our image, and so we can relate to him, whatever country you're from, or whatever, black and proud and kind of stuff, So this antagonist person, Jacob LeBron Kelly, who wore the Black Guns Matter shirt. And if you go on Craigslist, you'll find that they're hiring these social justice people for $15 an hour, $18 an hour, and if you're a team leader, it's $20 an hour. Okay, and maybe Channel 9 gave him a bonus because he was really acting up that day, and they needed a photo op. They were paying him, and they probably said, hey, if you get us some good photo ops, because the Denver Post, it was a lady there taking pictures, and it was the guy with the blue shirt who was from Channel 9, one of the producers there, and the Black Guns Matter guy, and then the assassin who ended up killing Lee. What was his? Lee Keltner, yeah, Lee Keltner, the assassin who killed Lee Keltner. It seemed like, okay, they all got in a huddle before the rally ended because they were trying to get that photo op, right? And it's so interesting. And as soon as the deed was done, the assassin did what he needed to do. Jacob LeBron's Kelly, with the Black Guns Matter guy, picked up his stuff and he left because his job was done, right? He got paid his $18 an hour plus a bonus, and he left the situation happy that not only did he get the photo op, but he also got one of the Patriot mustard. He also got the Lee Keltner, one of the Patriot mustard gentlemen. And it's unfortunately that these news companies, they want to create a story, and they will fake a story, just like what's that guy's name? Tawana Brawley, Al Sharpton, who faked Tawana Brawley's story in 1988 and almost caused a race riot back then because she accused some white guy of raping her and tying her up. It was all a lie. Al Sharpton is a liar. And also Jesse Jackson, when Martin Luther King got shot, he wasn't even up on the balcony. When he ran up there, he took Martin Luther King's blood, spread it on his white shirt. So when he got in front of the cameras, he could tell the lie, saying he was standing right beside Martin Luther King when he was shot and assassinated. So these Democratic liars, politicians, they seem that they're opportunists, and they will think it through. Okay, Martin Luther King is assassinated, he's dead now. Now it's my turn to step up. Now it's my turn to develop my coalition, the Rainbow Coalition, and Jesse Jackson, and it's now time for me to get money, live off the dole of poor people, keep using black and brown people as victims so I can get paid, go to the corporations, threaten them, saying we'll boycott you if you don't give us money. And the same thing that this organization, Black Lives Matter, which has nothing to do with Black Lives, is doing now. They're just funneling money, and none of that money is going in the black neighborhoods to develop any schools. It's not going to feed any black people. It's not going to develop any housing or develop any job training. It's not going anywhere in the black community. It's just a money funnel for the Democratic, Jim Crow, racist party Democrats, which they were. They started the Jim Crow, they started the KK, they haven't changed. They were always the Dixiecrats. Look at some of Malcolm X's old videos. Malcolm X, he told you exactly what the Democrats were. They haven't changed. They haven't changed. They're still the same for the last 100 or so years as they were. And, and I just read the story about people who think they can get away with crime. In 1984, this guy, he killed this lady, and they couldn't find out who did it. So they kept the DNA. Then they found the guy, and he had cleaned himself up, and he was running as a Republican candidate. But they found his DNA, who had killed this girl, and he probably thought he got away with it. And, he probably didn't kill anybody else. That was the one time he killed somebody. But because of science catching up, they found his DNA, connected him with it. And now he tried to fake us out by saying, I'm a good Republican, but I'm really like killed somebody and I didn't pay for it. But now he's paying for it. I was just watching the show 48 Hours last night. Tell you how stupid criminals are. This one guy, he had a beef with this guy that shot and killed maybe his friend or relative in 92 in self-defense. Well, so they let him go because it was self-defense, and the guy became a preacher, got married, had 4 kids, was living a clean life, and he was found innocent in the court. But this guy, he didn't want to give up the beef. So he told this 20-year-old, I'll pay you 15. Well, this 20-year-old he had his girlfriend that was pregnant. He didn't have a job. And I'm thinking, like, young people, if you don't got an education, you don't have a job, stop being sperm donors, because that's all you are. It's just a sperm donor. Keep it in your pants. Ladies, close your legs. Stop the progression of these sperm donors. So anyway, this young 20-year-old doesn't have a job, got his girlfriend pregnant, and this guy comes up and says, hey man, I'll pay you $15,000 if you go kill this guy. So he said, oh, that sounds like good. But he didn't even ask for like half of the money now and the other half, just when you complete the job, I'll give you $15,000, right? And this older guy probably knew that, they'll get caught. If not, I'll finger him. And either way, he was going to win, and he wasn't going to give up that $15,000. But you got a young 20-year-old who's stupid, who doesn't know, who probably didn't pay attention in school, who probably, and they're brainwashing you in school anyway, so he didn't get brainwashed in school. He got brainwashed by his friends in the street. So he gets 2 other friends. One is 17, one is 19. The 17-year-old boy says, well, they forced me. Okay. And the guy says, okay, we're going to put on a mask. Yeah, the Michael B. Hancock mask and the Jared Polis mask. All right, we're going to put on a mask and we're going to go rob this guy. But he didn't tell the other 2 guys that he's going to get paid and those other 2 are not going to get paid. So they go in the house, and in front of this preacher guy's children and his wife, he shoots them in the head. But they leave evidence behind because the 17-year-old, he kicked in his door And he didn't clean off his foot, like most people, most intelligent people, they wipe their feet on the floor mat before they go into the house. He kicks in the door. He leaves his footprints on the door. So the cops, they take down an impression of this, right? So then they go out the door and they're outside, and this 17-year-old boy is running. So they stop him and said, "Hey, we need to question you." And so, "Well, what for?" Because they're thinking like, "Well, he's running. What is he running for?" Right? So they take him down. Then they decide, well, let's get like an impression of his shoes. So they say, "Hey, you're gonna stay with us for a while. We're gonna put you in jail." So they say, change your clothes to prison clothes. Here, put your clothes in the bag. And then they look at the shoes bottom and they said, very distinctive shoe bottoms. And then they match it with the other one, and the boy tries to say, "Well, that's not my shoe. That could have been somebody else's shoe." And they said, "No, it's your shoe." And the way these guys love to lie, and these cops are so good, these detectives, man, I would have been a private. I would have loved to have been like an homicide or something like that, but instead I'm in radio, and I think the way they think, right? Because criminals think they're smart, but they're really stupid. Because there's ways of, if you live in a society, you can learn the ways of how to make money in a society without being an idiot. But a lot of these people are idiots. So anyway, comes to short. Well, the 20-year-old. I'm sorry, the 20-year-old killer. He felt very remorseful that he did this, and the last thing he said is, "Can I see my girlfriend?" Because now, because of what President Johnson did in 1964, he says, "Let the government be your daddy. You have as many babies as you want. If the boy can't take care of your baby, the government will take care of your baby." And so many generations now, we have many single moms who gave into, let the government feed you, let the government support you. Don't make this man support. Don't let this sperm donor support you. Let the government support you, right? And their friends, they're all the friends that they hang out with. So yeah, let's get pregnant, let's do this and this. Oh, if we don't want to get pregnant, let's kill our babies. Like Governor Northam says. And even 9 months later, let the baby be born, and we'll kill the baby then as well. Governor Northam, what a case job, putting on blackface, saying I bet he was doing the Uncle Tom shuffle, whatever the shuffle, and his buddy wearing the KKK outfit and taking their college pictures. Yeah, Governor Northam, you're a case, but the Democrats got you, and that's just where you belong, is with the Democrats, who have always been KK members, Jim Crow members. That's exactly where you belong. And for you dumb black people who are still there, you just stay there with these slave masters. But anyway, they all went to jail. He probably got life in jail, and then the other two probably spent 25 years in jail. And then there was another one where the guy, he got out of jail 30 days, right? Got himself a girlfriend. Women, I know you women love these gangsters, but why do you want to continue dumb sperm from dumb men, right? So he got his girlfriend. He's out of jail for 30 days. He shoots this 19-year-old kid who's working with his dad to put in speakers, put in radio systems and speakers to cars. And then he threatens everybody and say, "If you tell, I'm going to come back and shoot you." They get him, right? And then when they tell the story, he's there crying. "Oh, let me go home for just one more night." And the guy says, "Well, if you want to go home for one more night, you shouldn't have killed the 19-year-old boy." Well, and him himself, he's like 22, right? And he's already doing strong arm robberies. They already let him out once, and he took him 30 days to actually not only strong arm rob somebody, but kill somebody. And now he's crying like a baby. What about the parents? The dad who called the police, said, "I'm looking for my son." Somebody said that somebody was shooting at my son. So he lost his 19-year-old son because you wanted some money so you could take out your girlfriend, and it's a catch-22. You don't pay attention to these brainwashers in school, right? these schools that are just putting out criminals because you leave school and 70% of black and brown kids can't read or write at a third grade level. So the Democratic union-run school boards are doing this, and that's why they don't want school choice, because they need people to go into prison to support that profit to keep these people in a certain level. So of course, in 30 days he wasn't able to get a job, but he wasn't even trying. So he strong-armed somebody, killed this 19-year-old boy, and now he's crying that he wants to go home and just sleep one more time in his bedroom with this girl, just one last time. You should have thought about that when you shot that 19-year-old boy. Idiot. And I play, and TV loves to show black and brown idiots, and there's just as many white idiots out there as there are, but TV just loves to show black and brown idiots, and this idiots of all races, of all colors. This is just what they show on TV, right? So anyway, so that's my story for well, yeah, that's interesting. Okay, anyway, so that's my story about this LeBron's Kelly character, the Black Guns Matter. Don't forget to pick up my book, 6 Shades of Blindness. Share this on YouTube, like it, and listen to our station, Intervision FM. Watch our TV show, Comcast 56. I got to go do a seminar, so let's see. Okay, let me get. God bless. See you guys next time on Intervision TV.